In Hollywood right now, there are sort of two ways to be in a position to get movies made. One is to have access to money, and the other is to have access to celebrities and actors. So I knew that I needed to create a third way. And that third way was if I could create something that had a strong enough reputation and a strong enough brand, I would be able to get access to both money and actors. I didn't think that the idea was terribly brilliant. You know, surveying everybody about their favorite scripts as a way to find out what scripts you should read is not the most original of ideas. And I just assumed that there was some unwritten Hollywood rule that had prevented other people from doing this. And then in June of 2006, so 6 months after I made the first list, I got a phone call from an agent at then William Morris. And it was very much the same as a call that I got some version of every day, which was, I have this new client that I just signed. I love the script. I think Leonardo's going to want to do it as his next movie. But what was strange about this phone call is that he ended it by saying, you know, and listen, don't tell anybody, but I have it on really good authority. This is going to be the #1 script on next year's blacklist. That was my first realization that this thing that I created, largely selfishly, and just for myself to find good scripts, had greater consequence in the industry. That it wasn't just me who was sort of struggling with this reality that finding really good screenplays is hard. It turns out that everyone in the industry was struggling with that reality, and that, you know, even a partial solution like an annual list of the most liked screenplays was of great value. The next major inflection point was the next year when Juno and Lars and the Real Girl were both nominated for Best Original Screenplay. And that was significant because Juno had been the #2 script on the first blacklist, and Lars and the Real Girl had been #3 on the first blacklist. And it made the industry sort of sit back and say, wait a second, if you make these screenplays that are highly unusual, you know, you can be very successful with them. You can not only make a lot of money, which is one of the primary driving forces of people working in Hollywood, but you can win awards, which is the other major driving force for people in Hollywood. You know, I think that, you know, a lot of people talk about us democratizing the Hollywood system, and I think that's flattering, but I don't know that it's entirely accurate. I think what we're doing is meritocratizing the Hollywood system, which is to say that historically there have been a large number of people that are incredibly talented that have been excluded from participating, and we're saying these are the talented people, these are the people you should be working with.
What has been the biggest surprise for you?
The biggest surprise for me weirdly continues to be that people don't value screenwriters in the way that makes sense. Writers are oftentimes the least appreciated, least celebrated part of making a movie. I don't understand it.
What is the most dominant or the most important feature of a good screenplay?
Anyone who's trying to capture anything about art, for me at least, is trying to capture that human reaction. How does a writer, with each small decision, inspire trust that the next decision is going to be a good one? Things should be organic to the story, and they should not feel like you're doing something for the sake of doing them. Some people are just naturally good storytellers. But some of that is like they inspire trust that no matter how absurd the story seems to be getting, they'll be able to bring it back.